will be mostly laughter though. Have we arrived? Not yet. Hello. Is it good?
Dear Sangha, can you hear me okay? Okay. We'd like to invite you to please sit upright with your back straight. Relax your whole body. Today is Mother's Day. Do you remember that? We can invite our mother in us to breathe with us, to be in this present moment with us. Whether that is our biological mom, our adopted mom, a foster mom, or a mom somewhere that perhaps we haven't met, but we know that we do have a mom. Let us listen to 3 sounds of the bell. Dear respected teacher, dear beloved community, today is May 8th. In the year 2022, we are at Magnolia Grove Monastery in the Rising Tide Meditation Hall for the retreat How to Live When a Loved One Dies. And today is the last day of the retreat. First, we would like to welcome our friends who are here for the Day of Mindfulness. Can you raise your hand? For the Day of Mindfulness. Wonderful. Yes. I am so happy to see friends that live nearby that come here almost every week. You see the friend in the red shirt right over here? That's Zaid's brother from Memphis. Thank you. He comes here almost every week, and it's just so nice to see, especially young friends, wake up early in the morning on a Sunday to come to a monastery. I'm sure you must study very hard on Saturday night. Right? To have energy and to know that today I don't need to worry about my study. I can just follow my in-breath and my out-breath. Yeah. And also, of course, I'm so happy to be sitting here with all of you and not having stage fright. And I'm very peaceful, calm, and happy to look into your eyes, to know that you are smiling with your mask on, and that you are sitting here, being there for your grief, for your loss, with peace, with acceptance, and with the awareness of impermanence. Never did I thought that I would give a Dharma talk on Mother's Day on the topic of grief. It's a very emotional topic for me because my mom passed away 8 years ago due to colon cancer in Memphis, Tennessee. If we had this retreat 8 years ago or 7 years ago, I don't think I would be able to give a Dharma talk on this topic because it's not easy back then. It was not easy back then. But after 8 years, it's easier. So this is the fruit of the practice. And today I would like to take this opportunity to express my deepest gratitude to other mothers out there, to other mothers to be, to those who have the aspiration to be a mother, but because of insufficient causes and conditions, you will not be able to become a mother. So please know that this day is dedicated for you, whether you have a child or not. Because when there is love, when there's care, when there's compassion in your heart, at that moment, you are a mother. That is the aspiration of every one of us, whether we are female, male, or non-binary. We all have that seed of being a mother because we are a continuation of a mother. We carry a mother's blood, a mother's cell, a mother's bone. So regardless of your gender, regardless if you're a mother now, or that you will not be a mother, you are a mother in different form, in different manifestation. So today we celebrate that. Celebrate being a mother, to a mother, for a mother. As you see on the board, a dove, I asked one of the therapists, the grief therapist, what animal or what symbol that represents love and grief. And the therapist shared with me the dove. And inside the dove are the names of beloved ones whom have transitioned. When I sat down there and I saw some of you come up to write the name, I thought to myself, with perhaps almost 30 names of here, many of you came up to write the names. Thank you for writing it clearly. It was not only the children who wrote the names up here, but it was also from the parents, from the nieces and nephews, from a friend. And that's what makes this dove so beautiful. Because when we know when it comes to death, it is not only the solid ones, the elders in the family whose names will be written up here. It can be someone who is 2 months old, who is 30 years old, whose name is up here. This is a reminder that there's no fixed age when it comes to death. There's no fixed age when it comes to life. And so in the Dharma talk, I will call out the names that are written on the board as a way to invite these beloved ones to be in this hall with us. Because for me, one of the ways to keep our loved ones alive is continue to mention their names to our family members, to people that we don't yet know, but who care about us. Because the way that we say their names now is very different than how we used to say their names, right? Yes, there is sadness, but there's more love, there's more care. So this dove here represents freedom. What do you think this dove represents? Can we have a raise of hand and just call out the names? Peace. Anything else? Yes. Peace. Grace. Comfort. Loving kindness. Yes. Reconciliation. Setting yourself free. Anyone else? Compassion. Yes. Healing. So your loved ones are being embraced right now by all of those energy. They are inside the dove. And it is not only the dove that is giving this energy, but it is all the names up there that is giving all this energy. And they are not just names, we know. During the pandemic, 15 million people died because of COVID. It is 3 times more than it was predicted. These 15 million are parents, children, siblings, right? Human beings. And it is the same up here, all these names. They gave us beautiful memories that are unforgettable. They made us feel good about ourselves. And they continue to be with us. Continue to be with us. The word mother in Vietnamese is mẹ. I wrote this because I want my mom to be in this dove. I have met friends that came here and that are no longer physically here. And when I first learned about their passing, I was in shock, especially the passing that I was not prepared for. I was shivering when I heard the news because I didn't expect that death can come so suddenly like that to those I know. And so I was experiencing what we call in Vietnamese thương tiếc. Thương here means love. Tiếc here means regret. These two words only stay together when we experience a loss. So for me, when I experience a breakup in a relationship, friendship, love relationship, family relationship, we all experience a breakup, right? That's loss. Loss here doesn't mean the disintegration of a physical body. I regret it greatly because in it, there's so much love. So just like when my mom passed away, I was at a stage of love plus regret. This is to let me know how much I love. Imagine if I heard a news of somebody pass away and I don't have any feelings. That is because I don't yet know that person. I don't have a relationship with that person. It is not that I am cold. It's just there is no connection yet. So my thương tiếc is very short-lived. But for someone who knows Thauya, for someone who knows Ron, Juniper, Nguyễn Tấn Nghì, Guido the best, that thương tiếc, that love, that regret is going to be with us for some time because there's so much love that we have for that person. So it's a natural process that we all are experiencing. This is how I comforted myself after the passing away of my mother. And I started to see these two words differently. I might sit there and have regret or sadness. That is because in it there's love. I have great love for that person. And I want to have these feelings for everybody that I know. So even though I don't know Grandma Joyce, I don't know, please forgive me if I mispronounce his names. I ask for your understanding. I don't know Bernadette. I don't yet know Nale. But I know right at this moment, when I call out these names, some of you in this hall are thinking about them. Memories that you had with them come up. And I rejoice with you. I celebrate their life with you. And I know you want to utter their names in the beautiful places that you visit. And at times when nobody is there to listen, when names, Amy, Zana, Bob, Max, Freddie, or Frank, Brenda, that are being called out and nobody hears, we can say silently, or say to a tree, the universe will hear. The cells in our body will listen. Because in us carry our ancestors. In us carry the energy. So please, say their names often in our daily life. If at times sadness arises, that's because there's love in it. But then there will be times when we say their names with a smile on our face. And because there's love in it. After my mom passed away, I had to find different ways to connect with my mother. When I was standing next to my mom's coffin, the sentence, "A clown never dies," is meaningless. And I felt like I'm a bad practitioner. As if I didn't have faith in Thay's teachings. It was the intellectual knowledge that I had, and it didn't touch my heart. The only thing that touched my heart at that time, when I was standing next to my mom's coffin, was, "I can't believe you are gone. I won't be able to hold your hands again. I won't be able to break the monastery's rules by calling you after noble silence time. Because I love to hear my mom's voice before I go to sleep. So I would call her at least 3 or 4 times a week. So the sentence, "You will never die," was just intellectual knowledge. And so, one of the ways that I comforted myself was whenever my family gathers and I'm present, I would look at them. Whether it's a chaotic scene, you know how it is when family gathers? Especially with children around. "Put down your iPad, come and eat." No response. But I would say silently to my mom, "Mom, our family is safe at this moment. And we are here for one another. And I want you to know that." I just say silently. And this is a way for me to come back to the present moment and touch what is beautiful right here and right now. So instead of always thinking, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe Mom is not here to witness this beautiful time the family is together," I change my way of thinking. And it doesn't mean that I don't love my mom more. It's a way for me to show love to my mom even more. Because I know what my mom was like when family gathers. She was really there. Whether it was little ones blowing candles, she was always on the scene. Whether it was feeding her grandchildren fried rice, she was there, fully present. So at first, I allow myself to think of how much she would miss this great time the family is having. But over time, I shifted my thinking. I changed the playlist. I changed the song. I don't think the word peg these days, we don't use, right? Changing the peg. Change podcast station. Because in us, there's a radio called NST, non-stop thinking. Anyone heard of that? Yeah, so our teacher shares with us that we all have a NST radio station, non-stop thinking, constantly, non-stop. So whatever button we push, it will come. So I changed my podcast from negative thinking to positive thinking in a click of time. When I was in high school, we learned, I don't know if this was in chemistry class or biology class or physics, I don't know. I'm just so bad with these three subjects that I don't want to think about them. But anyway, we were told that the speed of light is very fast. Is that right? Is that in physics class or chemistry? Physics. Okay, thank you. Okay, just want to make sure. I know it's not in math class. But then after I practiced meditation for some time, I realized that the mind travels faster than light. I can travel to Vietnam in less than a second. Light can't travel that quick. I can travel back to the past very easily. And I'm very good at traveling to the future. So I know that my mind is faster than light. So I'm practicing to change my podcast station. And we can dedicate a moment during the day for our beloved ones so that we can express our gratitude to Debbie Lin Young, to Joe Young, to Amy, to Casey, to Wavita, to Debbie, to Henry, to Marx. What is your favorite time of the day? Is it when you wake up and enjoy a cup of coffee? Or is it your favorite time is when you lose your key and try to find your key? Is that your favorite time? Anyone? Okay, we have one person. Or is your favorite time is when you have some moments of stillness where you don't have to do anything, you don't have anywhere to go. Choose that moment and dedicate it for your loved ones. No coming, no going, no after, no before. In the last few days, we heard a lot about we breathe for our beloved ones, we walk for our beloved ones, and there were moments when we were invited to do all of that with our beloved ones. For my personal preference, I like to say with more than for. Just to let you know, my English grammar is very bad, and that my vocabulary is not just bad, it's worse. Okay? So this is how I define these two words. This is how I differentiate these two words. And it comes to the conclusion why I would choose with rather than for. 4 is as if this person can't do it. This person is temporarily not here. That's why I'm doing it for you. But with, this person is beside us, whether physically here or not. With, this person is inside of us. When I say, Mom, I walk for you, I still I have this image as if my mom is laying on her bed, unable to walk, right? But when I say, Mom, I'm with you, an image of her and I holding hands and walk together. So whatever image that nourishes us, use that preposition, right? These words are called preposition? Okay. My English teacher is sitting down there. So it's like I'm giving an exam. Just want to make sure this is preposition and not a prepositional phrase. So, on a day that is beautiful like this, and I would be walking, and I think about my mom, and I say, Mom, I look at the green trees with you, and I feel so much comfort, as if my mom is still here with me, very alive. She passed away 8 years ago, but there isn't a day that I don't think about her. And so I come to this conclusion, how can somebody die when we still think about that person? When that person makes a heart warm. When that person impacts the decision that we make in our daily life. How can that person die? This is not spiritual bypass. This is deep looking. This is deep looking. As long as we continue to think about our loved ones who have passed, even though we haven't had a chance to meet that person, even if that person is only 2 months old, that person is still alive. Very, very alive. Let us listen to one sound of the bell. So as a practitioner, we are able to see what is invisible so that we can be invincible. I love to play with words, as you can see. When we think of the BIPOC community, the history of this country, slavery, genocide, all this hate, and many people try to make all of this invisible, as if none of this happened. Or if it did happen, it happened differently. They try to cover up the truth. And at the same time, there are a group of people who want to make it visible for the young generation understand the detrimental effect it can happen when there is discrimination in our thinking. When I say discrimination here, I mean racial discrimination. Or Native Americans, African Americans, Asian Americans, Latinx. They continue to be invisible, but this will not prevent them to become invincible. So, as meditation practitioner, when we look at someone, we're able to see their ancestors, perhaps the struggles that they had experienced. When we look at a tree, we don't see the roots, but we know they are there, right? It is because of the roots of the tree that make the tree strong and invincible at times of storm. Our loved ones are no longer physically here. But if we keep coming back to ourselves and remind ourselves that we are their continuation, that we are doing our very best to take care of our health, mental health, physical health, emotional health, psychological health, spiritual health, then they know that we are strong, we are resilient, and we are invincible. And there are tools that can help us to be invincible. Practice with a community like this, whether at the monastery, online, or when we go back home and be with a group of people that we can take refuge in, is one of the ways. The ringing of the telephone that you carry in your pocket, or the notification sound, the stop light, the stop sign, the red, green lights, can help us to become invincible. Because all of this help remind us to come back to our breathing, come back to the present moment. We can say to ourselves, may I ask how many of you here drive to work? Okay, and how many of you work at home? There you go. So, if you drive to work, I'm sure you see red lights and stop sign, right? We can dedicate this as our loved ones. We stop at the red light or the stop sign. We say, thank you for keeping us safe. Now imagine if there's no stop sign or red light. Many accidents can occur. So see these red lights or stop sign as our loved ones, because our loved ones like to protect others. Or if we work at home, we stand up and sit down a lot, whether to go get a cup of tea, restroom break. And we can say to ourselves, I dedicate the steps from where I work to the living room or to the restroom. I walk with you. It might be just 10 steps. But if we do this at least 5 or 10 times a day, it helps to build that mindfulness inside of us. So seize every little opportunity during the day to cultivate mindfulness, to be in the present moment, so that when the storms come, we can be invincible and vulnerable at the same time. And perhaps Donald, Savita, Jenny, Hans Philip, and Raiden, Marksher, Jackie, and Ray. There were moments in their life where they came to us, to you, and give you a hug, look at you in the eyes, or did something kind to somebody. Remember those moments to celebrate, not just to feel sad. To celebrate that these actions, this karma that they created will forever continue, because they are like a cloud, and a cloud never dies. Find comfort, find joy each time we say the names. Perhaps some of us sitting here never had a chance to meet one of our parents. We don't know what they look like. Or because they passed away so many years ago, 50 years, 70 years, we don't remember what they look like. But we know their names. We don't know if their hands look like our hands. But we do know that they have 5 fingers, and we have 5 fingers. They had eyes. They had teeth to chew their food. So whenever we eat, we invite them to eat with us. They are still in here. They are still in here, in the heart, in the hands. So say their name. Isn't that the name of a song? Say my name. You know who sang it? Do you think I know who sang it? Say their names. Say my name. You know, after the murder of George Floyd, people encourage us to say the names of those who die innocently. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Trayvon Martin. Say these names so that we can remember the injustice that is still happening. That racial discrimination is not something in the past, but it is still happening right now. And that when they die, we also die. Part of us die. And this is a teaching that they share in the book How to Live When a Loved One Dies. And because we are still living, that is why they are still living with us. And some of us sitting here, we have this strong aspiration to prevent this hatred to continue. This senseless killing to stop. And I want to say thank you for that. Kelsey, Kevin, Zach, Sister Maria, Barbara Jane, Umberto, Lisa, Valerie, John, Gaynor. We miss these people. And we have the right to miss these people because they are part of us. So when we lose them, we miss them. But when we lose something, we also gain something, right? Just like no birth, no death, mud, lotus. If we're having drama in our life right now, please know that there is always Dharma in the drama. Just wait for the Dharma to come. It will come. If we look deeply at the drama, you will see the Dharma. But perhaps because we have so much drama right now, we don't see any Dharma. But trust me, there's Dharma in it. So yes, we miss these people. And at the same time, we can remember. So continue to play with word, miss, and remember. I would like to invite us to play a game. Jenny, could you come up here, please? Thank you so much. Okay, this is why I love Jenny. Every time I call her name, she says sure. Could you take off your mask, please? Okay, I will invite Jenny to say these two words, miss and remember. Okay, and we are invited to look at Jenny's mouth, not to see if she has any food in her teeth. But to look at it, just to look at it first, and then I will share more. Say it slowly, okay, Jenny? Okay, and don't smile, just have like a neutral face.
Miss, remember.
Can you say it like this, articulate more with your mouth so that we can see the difference?
Miss, remember.
Maybe I've been saying these two words wrong all this time. Because the way that Jenny said, I didn't see the distinction. So maybe I say it wrong. The reason why I asked Jenny to do this and for us to look at it is because when we say the word miss, you see how our lips look, our mouth, miss. How can we smile when we say miss? It's difficult. So this miss carries sadness, longing of something we once lost. Like we know we might not have it again. But now look at me when I say remember. Remember. Am I exaggerating it? No, really, am I exaggerating it? A little bit? Go back to your seat. I remember this teaching from Sister Boi Nghiem, the abbess of Lower Hamlet. Before I came to Magnolia Grove Monastery to stay for 12 years, I don't know. Back then, I did not know how long I would be gone from Plum Village. So one day, she and we were talking in the common room, and I shared with her, "Dear Shoko, dear sister, elder sister, I will miss Lower Hamlet a lot when I'm gone." And she held my hand. She looked into my eyes and she said, "Don't miss, but remember." Yeah. It's very profound teaching if we look at it. Because we have the tendency to miss our ex. Anyone here experienced that? Am I the only one? Maybe because you are just happy in your romantic relationship right now. Or nobody admits it except me. But yeah, we miss the people that we love, that we're no longer together. You know, I gave a Dharma talk on the topic, wake up after breakup. And it makes me so happy when friends come to me and say, "Sister, I recently broke up with my partner and I listened to your Dharma talk." Yeah, because it's not something that is easy to share. Because oftentimes we think a breakup is a failure, right? Like we didn't do good enough, or that there's something wrong. But sometimes a breakup is necessary. But what is important, are we able to wake up after a breakup? Or do we just sit there and miss? I used to sit there and just miss him miserably when I was a teenager after my first breakup. And that was my first time really experiencing grief without knowing I was experiencing grief. Who here had a relationship when you were a teenager? Oh my gosh, good. I'm not the only one. Did anybody tell us that after a breakup we were grieving? No, right? I tried to hide it because it's embarrassing to tell my friends we broke up because we look so beautiful. We held hands. He carried my notebooks to class. He waited for me at the parking lot to the classroom. Wow. He gave me this gift. I think it was made of crystal, and said that I hope that our relationship doesn't break into pieces. So cheesy, right? Right. But that's only the first 3 months of a relationship. After that, it's a different reality. So we broke up. And I miss him a lot. I mean, I would, you know the song by Brian McKnight, 6812? Anyone here know this song? Can I sing for you? Okay. I know this is recorded, and I hope I'm not breaking or violating copyright. But anyway, So my ex gave me this CD of Ryan McKnight, and it has this song, 6-8 Days. It's a breakup song. It's been 6 months, 8 days, 12 hours since you ran away, since you went away. I miss you so much and I don't know what to say. I should be over you, something like that. And this is how naive I was. After the breakup, I waited for the 6 months, 8 days, 12 hours and played that song. Because it really spoke to what is in my heart. And it was so comforting. I miss you so much and I don't know what to say. I should be over you. But that's not the case. It's been 6 months, 8 days, 12 hours. I was 17. I didn't think about my breathing. I didn't think about the present moment. I was like, I'm going to play this song on that day. But then after the teaching from Sister Boi Nghiem, I practiced to remember more than to miss. Whether that is my mom or the place that I no longer live, right? Or something that I have now that I lost, I remember it. Because remembering it makes me feel happy, makes me feel grounded, where else missing it. I can feel my heart sinks. I can feel sadness comes. So I want to change my podcast. Before it was Miss Podcast. Now it's Remember Podcast. Welcome to Remember Podcast Station. Yeah, and it's very healing. As practitioner, we can be creative. Tay is an artist. We are also an artist. So when we talk about our loved ones, please use present tense. In Vietnamese, there's no such thing as past tense, future tense. It's only present tense. So if you mention friend, Betty, James, Patricia, Phyllis, Ardith, Claudia, Sierra, Christine, Tyre, Omar, Amy, Elizabeth, Long, Din, Jan. Please use present tense. So instead of saying, I love Cassie so much. I love Jenny with all my heart. She was a wonderful daughter. You can say, I love Jenny with all my heart. I love her 10,000 years before she was born. I love her 10,000 years after she transitioned because she is just a magnificent daughter. Use that present tense. It's not that we are denying the fact that our loved ones die. It's just that we know they are with us. And just to let you know, I'm very bad at grammar. So I break grammar mistake. I mix up past, present tense, and future all the time. But yeah, use present tense, please. Nyla, Bob, Freddie, Appling, Kazik, Julie, David. They want us to be happy and not drowned in our grief all the time. I remember 8 years ago in March 6th when my mom passed away. We stayed at home for 49 days after her passing. And after that, we came to the monastery. And I didn't understand why. I had so much emotion on Thursday night. Tears were kept on falling. I couldn't understand. Yes, I know that my mom passed. This is a feeling of grief. But how come it's more intense on Thursday night? It took me 6 months to realize my mom died on Thursday night. So, if in your daily life, there's a day in a week or a month of the year that for suddenly you have these strong emotions, ask ourselves, is it close to the time that our loved ones pass? If it is, then just put your hands on your heart and say, I'm here for you. It is okay. It's natural process of grieving. It is this stored consciousness, that deep love that we have for our loved ones, that this intuition is telling us something, right? And once we understand the cause behind the strong emotion, we feel lighter. This is the same with a breakup after a relationship. And of course, when we drive by a place that we and our ex used to have meal together or take a walk, and now we pass by it, we only think of that image, which is okay. But at the same time, tell ourselves, I'm now in the present moment. I want to build a memory with myself. Anyone here build memories with yourself? This is self-care and self-love. Because in our daily life, we spend a lot of time building memories with others, with nature, with our colleagues. But we also can take some time to build a relationship with ourselves, to create memories with ourselves. There are places that you walk during your stay here alone, and you experience a deep, profound connection, whether that was at the beloved community garden, vegetable garden, or at the bell tower. And next time when you come back, you pass by it, you remember that moment. See, that moment you were building memories with yourself. Let us listen to one sound of the bell. don't know about your personal experience, but for me, grieving at night is very difficult because I'm alone, I'm with my own thoughts. I cannot hold anybody's hands. I don't have anybody's hands to hold. There's nobody to be next to me to give a gentle tap on my shoulder. I'm just with me. So it was unbearable in the beginning. Unbearable. I woke up in the middle of the night because there was no tissue left next to my pillow. I went to the restroom and my eyes were red. And I say to myself, okay, Sister Boi Nghiem, let the tears fall as much as you want. I share room with 2 other sisters. There's no way I can make sound in the middle of the night. You're lucky. You might have your own room. I don't. I was like choking, I can't make any sound. So I went to the restroom and just looked into my eyes. And I just say this mantra that I love. I'm here for you. I use toilet paper to wipe my tears, which is okay. Choose whatever I have. And I did it very gently. There are 7 billion people right now, but nobody's here to wipe my tears. I'm the only one who can do that for me right now. So how would I do it? Do I just do it to wipe off my tears? Or do I do it with love, with gentleness, and with care? And I chose to do it like that way. Yeah. And when I understood why I cry on Thursday night, I have understanding. And I am no longer, and now I am unafraid. Unafraid of my own thoughts. Just be there and take care of it. I find grieving process to be a very lonely process because it's a topic that my dad didn't want to talk about after my mom died, and I find it very painful. Anyone here have that experience? Yeah. I wanted to say the word mom, a lot, because this is a way for me, for my survival after the grieving. I want to ask my dad questions about my mom, but his response was very terse. But then I realized, because my dad was in great pain, who in the family spent more time with mom? My dad. I was waiting and waiting for him to ask me, my child, do you miss mom? Until today, he didn't ask that question. And I've been waiting for this question from my dad. And one day I say to myself, there's no need to wait for Dad to ask me. I can ask him. So I asked him, because I'm no longer afraid. I am now unafraid. I'm ready to take in whatever response he gives me. Because I know he was having pain. I asked him, Dad, when do you miss Mom the most? And he said, I miss Mom the most when I go to the grocery store and I see couples. Because they used to go to the grocery store together. And now my dad is going alone. And he's seeing these couples. Some look happy, some don't. But it made him miss my mom. And after the passing of my mom, I learned to love my dad more. As I was drowning in my grief, as I was just thinking about my mom all the time, like I was thinking about my ex all the time after the breakup, suddenly one night, a voice came to me and said, don't forget, Dad is still alive. And that was my aha moment. That was when my grief was less intense. So we all will have that aha moment after a loss, a breakup. It will come. And it will come when we least expect it. When we urinate, when we defecate, when we're watching Netflix shows, when we drive in the car, it will come. So that moment is very unique. There's no timeline, right? And I know that some of you already have that aha moment. So perhaps one of your aha moment is, I'm coming to Magnolia Grove for a grief retreat. That can be considered as an aha moment. And that's once we have that aha moment, or in the process of having that aha moment, we can cultivate that understanding so for us to be not afraid of our own thoughts. That's what is scary the most after the passing of our loved ones is our own thoughts. Because we are in the dark. Because the cortisol is secreting nonstop. The stress hormone. This is why our brain is very foggy, very cloudy. It's difficult for us to make decisions. So self-care and self-love, be kind to ourselves, spending more time in nature, is to help secrete more oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, instead of just cortisol. Because our brain is very flexible. It has a neuroplasticity that we can train, that we can change. We can change podcasts. We can secrete different hormones in our brain so that our organs, our body, can be healthier. You see, the mind and the body are one. as I shared earlier, that my relationship for my dad improves after the passing of my mother. My dad and I, we have different political viewpoints. He voted for the person I wish he didn't vote. I voted for the person he wished I didn't vote. And so when we talk about politics, it's just like a battle zone. But then I say to myself, I will not let any outsider affect my love for my dad. If I drive to Memphis and something happens on the road, I can't call the person I voted for to help me. The only person I can call is my dad. So I have Zoom call with him every week. We have our own podcast. Really, we have our own podcast. And I ask him questions, and he answers. Now I look at it, I see this is a way for him to share his happiness and also to transform his trauma. For someone who experienced Vietnam War, was in they call it re-educational camp, but it was more like a torture camp for 7 years. I'm sure my dad had a lot of trauma. So I would ask him questions. How was it like for you in the camp? What were you like when you were 38, my age? And he shared with me that I had you. I asked him many questions. And he gave me the permission to ask questions because my heart was open to hear from him. This is a way for me to grieve after the passing of my mom. It's not just to sit there and think about my mom. It's also how I can reconcile with the people that are still living. This is also part of the grieving process. It can be difficult at times, but through patience, transformation will take place. If there were weeks I don't call him, he will ask. This is the fruit of it. So if there are members in your family that don't practice mindfulness, don't talk about mindfulness to them. Just ask personal questions about their life. Let them be the star. Yeah. And if they answer with some unpleasant energy, it's okay. I learned over time that they will soften. But when we feel that we need space, we give space. When we want to offer love, it's genuine, organic, natural. No need to add any herbicide, pesticide. Make the love real so they can feel it. So please, in our daily life, choose something, a sign, a gesture, a moment. Think about our loved ones. Cry if we want to, if we need to. Smile. And I love to see when you shed your tears because of the beauty in life and also because of the suffering you're experiencing. What I can feel at that moment is that There's so much love in your heart. And that is what sustains us. In Tuesdays with Maury shared, death ends a life but not a relationship. In the beginning, I agree. But now I disagree. I still agree 50%. Death does not end a life. And it does not end a relationship. The love that we have for that person continues. And the love for that person to us continues. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Hold your mother's hand, yeah? Thank you so much for listening.